Welcome once again to SoCo Chat, a podcast where we hear directly from county leaders, discuss the latest news, and talk about all things concerning our beautiful corner of California known as Sonoma County.
Welcome to another episode of SoCo Chat. I'm your host, Matt Brown, Deputy Communication Manager for the County of Sonoma. Thank you for joining us. Today, we're joined by Fernando Torres, community worker and representative of CRLA in Santa Rosa. CRLA is the California Rural Legal Assistance, and it's a nonprofit that provides free legal services to rural and low-income communities in California. So stay with us as we learn more about the various support programs that they offer and how to protect your legal rights. But before we get to our interview, I want to start with our trivia question. Our question today is, when was CRLA founded? If you know, call us at 707-565-2242 or email us at publicaffairs@sonomacounty.gov. If you are correct, you'll be entered into our weekly drawing for a chance to win a SoCo Chat coffee mug. So with that, let's get on to our interview. Fernando, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having us. I'm very glad to be here, and I love the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Well, we appreciate it. Can you just start by briefly describing CRLA and what you do and who you serve?
CRLA, as you mentioned, is a nonprofit that assists folks with legal issues, whether it's housing, employment, education, public benefits, and we help those who are otherwise unable to have representation in the legal system, which we think it's very much needed. And our goal, our mission is to make sure the playing field is level, and that regardless of your situation or economic situation otherwise, that you're entitled to that right to defend yourself or to just know your basic rights and use them so that you can have the best outcome possible for your situation.
That's great. A great service you're providing. And CRLA, it's a statewide organization. You represent the Santa Rosa office. What types of communities does the Santa Rosa office serve?
Statewide, it is very much the same. But as I mentioned, folks who meet the classification as someone who may be low income, low asset, and that covers a variety of folks, including folks who are immigrants, folks who are of age, folks who may live on public housing or regular housing, or students or parents of students who may be low income, and those who receive public benefits, among others.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about the different legal areas that you cover. If people have need help in different legal areas, what do you cover there?
I think the most popular, the issue that comes to us the most is housing. Housing is an issue that is not just an issue of Sonoma County, it's an issue statewide and maybe through the whole country. But that is customarily the type of customer that we receive. We don't help landlords. We take the position of assistant tenants who are likely eligible for our services. And we just want to make sure that they know their rights, that they can utilize their rights. Sometimes we can do a little more than just providing their rights and actually put an attorney or a community worker as myself to help a little more. Let's see, unemployment, which is one of our, that's the second category, would be everything from wage theft, which means when somebody doesn't pay you what you're owed or doesn't give you the rest periods that you're entitled to, or maybe they fire you for some reason that is unlawful. We want to talk to those folks. Education, mostly discipline issues, or folks who are treated differently. So the youngster at home may be in a situation in which facing an expulsion, facing some sort of a hearing, and the parents have no idea how to process through it, and we try to assist them. Public benefits, I receive a letter from county, or any of the programs that I receive, maybe it's an overpayment issue. We try to, again, look into the issues, see if we can assist, maybe guiding somebody through a hearing, and again, to position them in a way that they have a say, that they can enforce their rights, and we're just a tool to get them to that point.
Wow, that's great. You do offer a lot of services for people with big legal issues, it sounds like. What's the intake process like for a potential client if you have a legal issue and you want to access your services? What does that look like for them?
It's really very, very simple. We thrive on being simple and easy for people to get to us. It could be as simple as calling our local number, which is 707-528-9941. We're working on making more of a statewide 800 number, and that will be coming. But that is really it. A person calls us, or they go by the office here in Santa Rosa, which covers the county of Sonoma for anyone who made our criteria, and Napa County for those who are farm workers. And they can just walk in. Again, we have a schedule when we're open or not, but that's really it. And then we ask you a few questions. We do have a process to qualify for our services, but regardless, and I tell this often, regardless of whether you feel that you qualify or not for our services, give us a call, because at minimum, we're going to give you a referral or just some basic information about your rights. We'll get you on your way to hopefully, again, level in that field and that you feel represented.
What's an example of if you qualify or not? How do you determine eligibility for your services?
Income is one of them. We look at the entire situation really, but I want to make sure that I say that we get as creative, and we tried as much within our rules to make sure that everyone gets something, that somebody gets at minimum, again, some information about their rights or a referral to another party. We cannot assist them. Remind me of the question again. Maybe that is an edit right there.
Yeah, about eligibility, about how people can access the benefits.
Yeah, it's again, it's based on their income, on their assets. We ask multitude of questions, and it's really hard to give you an answer because there's so many aspects that are involved in that application. We do try to assist when we can folks who are a part of a group, of a community, so that perhaps we can assist more than one. But I never detain anyone from contacting us and doing so. That is the process. That is what we want to see.
Great. What about somebody that doesn't speak English? They come in. Do you offer free interpretation, and what languages do you offer?
That's a great question, because to CRLA, it's real key that and it's actually part of an attorney's responsibilities to make sure that that client not just understands their position, but that they understand the advice that is given to them and which steps to take. Because it's not just, hey, attorney, you take care of this and we'll see you in one day. It's a conversation. They are part of the equation. I want to make sure that they can act as so, that they can give us as much as they can of their information. But if there's a failure to communicate, there's no process. So CRLA prides itself on really any language. All you have to say is, hello, I speak French, or s'il vous plaît. You just let us know, give us a hint of what you're looking for. Give us 5 minutes and we'll have somebody on the line who speaks your language. This is important also for our indigenous communities, because we want to make sure it's just not the language, but which region. Especially here in California, indigenous populations who may be from Mexico. There's a great variety of beautiful languages, and we want to make sure that we provide the correct interpreter for the job. So we go out of the way as much as we can to make sure that person can fully understand and communicate with us.
So you can access translators in just about every language then?
Just about every language, and we have a team dedicated specifically for language justice.
That's great. Wow. Can you give me an example of some help that you've provided to somebody here in Sonoma County? Something recently?
Quite a few come to mind, but I say housing. The ones that get to your heart really are the ones that are very unjust. Those are the ones that you seem to retain. So situation in which a person, for no fault of their own, gets mistreated by a landlord. Maybe there's a situation in which an employee, again, by no fault of their own, is being discriminated or is being fired, or maybe that person raised their hand and said conditions on site, whether it's at work or employment, are not as they should be, because I know my rights. And they say, well, you don't like that, then you're fired or you're evicted. Those are the type of cases that come to mind. For education, there's always the one student that we feel should have been treated better, and perhaps it was not. And seeing the inequalities is it's something that we are accustomed to at the office. Some cases that are a little more deep and sad than others, but we again try to assist them and try to get them on their way. That's what's coming to mind.
Okay, great. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe one more.
Yeah, what else you got?
Public benefits. And it's really important that people know that we assist folks who get CalFresh, Medi-Cal. We actually show on the application as the agency to contact if there's any issues. And that is something that we are very passionate on making sure that those folks get them, because we're talking CalFresh, we're talking food, we're talking not going hungry. We're talking medical. We're talking make sure that they have access to healthcare. So those are the types that come to mind. Sorry.
Yeah, no, those are great, especially those last benefits you mentioned, health benefits and food benefits, CalFresh. I know those are changing in the current situation with the federal budget. Do you have information on that, or are you educating your clientele on that?
I'm educating myself on the changes. I can tell folks to be very alert right now if you're getting medical, and if you happen to be a family member of someone who may not be documented and receiving medical at the present time, you want to make sure that you get to that health center as soon as possible to see any and all opportunities for you to get health care. There will be some changes coming January 1st. And you also want to make sure that you renew those benefits. Every time that packet comes, we're going to make sure that we get it in. Because, again, there's many rules that we don't have time to discuss. Let's just make sure that you're very educated on the possibilities and then move forward with that application.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we can talk more after January 1st when all those changes come in. We'll have you back on. I want to talk a little bit about wage theft that you mentioned.
Yes.
So what kind of advice would you give to someone who may be experiencing wage theft or some labor violations? What should they do?
Yeah, it's very important that folks, again, know their rights and that they have a say, that they have a right to present the case to the right agency, and that they're not alone. My recommendation would be, and we always tell folks, document. That means to an attorney, keep records. That means keep copies of your pay stubs. That means I talked to Joe Dokes at HR, and they said exactly these words. Just document it. Make sure that you are keeping notes. We love it when somebody walks in with detailed information that we can utilize, either to defend them or, again, to put them in their way for a wage theft claim at the labor commissioner if we're not assisting directly. Make sure that you keep organized. Make sure that you check those pay stubs and you compare them to what they're paying you. Make sure those hours are entirely there, that they're paying you overtime if you work more than 8 hours or 12 hours. Make sure that everything looks okay, and if it doesn't, give us a jingle.
That's great. Those are great pieces of advice. What about housing? So what kind of support do you provide for housing issues?
I think I mentioned a few on the examples, but we really believe in fair housing. Fair housing meaning non-discriminatory housing. One popular for communities, unfortunately, is we have a family of a certain size. We have kids at home. Kids are noisy. Kids jump. It's completely fine, and it's not unlawful to have a family and kids jumping around. Some landlords, however, may say, "Hey, you're making too much noise." And we really want to make sure that folks, again, know their rights. And so ask me the question again. Apologies.
Just other support for housing issues. That seems like a good one right there.
Yes. For housing, we also, disabilities, folks who may have a disability and maybe they need that extra special condition. Maybe I have a small dog or cat that makes me really happy, and my therapist says that I need it in order for me to function, to feel okay, and that landlord may say otherwise. There's things that person can take, the steps that person can take to make sure that we keep that kitty, we keep that pet, that animal support animal, and that they, again, is their home. They should feel welcome at home, and if the animal is required, then it really helps them.
Gotcha. Good. What do you offer workshops or any other community outreach on people's legal rights?
We try to. Lately, it's been busy, but we do try right now. And thank you for the opportunity. I want to make sure that I say that I am personally giving trainings on civil rights for interactions with their police or authorities, whether it's immigration or local authorities, and on what the Constitution says that my rights are to what steps should I take and what I can do as a person who perhaps don't have the documentation that I feel that I need to have in order to have these rights. A constitution is for anyone, and if we can highlight that, it's for anyone regardless of immigration status, and there are steps that a person can take to minimize the risk to themselves and to the family. So we give those presentations, whether it's live, which doesn't happen too often nowadays because folks are very afraid. We can also do them by Zoom, and as I mentioned, we can do it in any language. If you give us a little time, we can do it in any language that the group wants to receive the information on. And that's something we're passionate about. We want to make sure that folks know their rights. We also give them on housing issues, employment issues, any of the categories that I mentioned. We can go ahead and do that presentation.
Yeah, that's great. I think you sort of mentioned it, but I was going to ask about the immigrant rights. What message would you give to the Spanish-speaking community or the immigrant community in this current climate about their rights?
Like I said, that they're not alone. That there is not just our agency who we don't do immigration cases unless it's related to a case that we're having. So we're not an agency known for immigration support. However, for civil rights, yes, very much. All the way from when Cesar Chavez was in that board of directors. Again, I won't give the year because then people get the free mug. But it's been a while, and it's been building up since then. Again, I need the reminder. My apologies.
Yeah, the advice you'd give, or the message for the immigrant community.
Yeah, my message is you're not alone. There's plenty of agencies that are local. We're really blessed in Sonoma County because this doesn't happen statewide, but we are very blessed in the County of Sonoma with so many agencies that really want to help you. We help with the educational portion of that, sometimes a little more, but there's plenty out there of support for you. Just make sure that you reach out, make sure that you know that you have rights. Don't be shy. I know it's difficult and it's easy for me to say, but go to whoever you trust, whether it's Karina, whether it's someone at your local health center. Try to seek the answer to your question. Perhaps there is an opportunity for you or your family to solve the situation, to improve the chances of your family being affected. And it just takes a little bit of effort for you to make sure that you reach out, you give us that information. And sometimes what I do is, even though we don't do the service that they're requesting, I will make sure to route you in the right direction.
And how can someone connect with your office or make an appointment? There's
no appointment needed. We, again, by phone is the easiest way, 707-528-9941. They can go to our office at 1160 North Dutton Avenue. Sometimes we are not open to the public. Perhaps best to give us a call first. But it's, again, just as simple as that. Leave a voicemail. If we happen to not answer your call, we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Well, that's great. You offer such a great service to the community, and we appreciate all that you do for the community. And thanks for coming here to tell us about it.
Thank you so much for the invitation and the opportunity.
Of course. And as a thank you for being here, we'd like to offer you a free SoCo Chat mug.
Absolutely.
And to our listeners as well, we want to offer you a chance to win one of our SoCo Chat coffee mugs. Just answer our trivia question. You'll be entered into our weekly drawing. As a reminder, our question today is, when was CRLA founded? If you know the answer, call us at 565-707-565-2242 or email us at publicaffairs@sonomacounty.gov. Submit your answer to us soon for your chance to win that prize of a SoCo Chat coffee mug. Also, if you have comments about this or any other segment or have a suggestion for a topic for a future SoCo Chat discussion, please email us at that same address, publicaffairs@sonomacounty.gov. Thank you all, and we hope you continue to follow SoCo Chat on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, and, of course, YouTube. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much, Fernando.
Thank you for having us.